When strangers came into your neighborhood, there had to be rules of conduct to know how to deal with these people. When people were traveling and were cut off from their networks of economic support, they were vulnerable. But they also could be dangerous. They might be thirsty, they might be hungry, and as that great prophet Bob Marley once said, "A hungry man is an angry man." When strangers come into your zone, into your neighborhood, into your area, there's a danger that they may, out of their hunger, out of their desperation, simply take from you what they need to survive and maybe murder your family in the process. So what to do? In ancient Israel, the way you handled a situation like that is that you, in effect, made them temporarily part of your family by inviting them to come and share a meal at your table. Because if they accepted your offer of hospitality, then they were saying, in effect, that they were, for the time that they were there, members of your family. And just like members of any household are absolutely morally committed to provide for the survival and the thriving of that household, so too these strangers, by accepting your hospitality, they now are saying, we, at least for the time that we are here in your area, we join ourselves to your family and we make ourselves responsible for your safety and well-being. So there's a kind of two-sided, this is a two-sided endeavor here, this offer of hospitality. It's both for the good of the stranger, of the traveler who's vulnerable, and the good of your household. Now, the classic example of this is found in Genesis 18 and the appearance of strangers to Abraham and Sarah at their tent at the Oaks of Mamre. This is from Genesis 18. The Lord appeared to Abraham by the Oaks of Mamre as he sat at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing near him. When he saw them, now notice what Abraham does. He runs from the entrance of his tent out to meet them out there. So he encounters the men away from his household. The dance of hospitality is about to begin. He wants to keep the men kind of at a distance, away from his wife and his possessions and his people. So he goes out, he meets them out at a distance from the entrance of his tent. He bows down to the ground, treating them as if they are his superiors. He says, "My Lord, if I find favor with you, please don't pass by your servant. Let a little water be brought, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Let me bring a little bread, that you may refresh yourselves, and after that you may pass on, since you have come to your servant." Now here is the critical moment. Abraham has encountered these strangers. Do they mean him harm, or do they mean him well? Well, only the offer of hospitality will tell. He offers them food and drink at his table, and now he waits anxiously for their response. And they said, "Do as you have said." Whew. Thank goodness. Abraham now runs back to the tent to tell Sarah to prepare a feast. He doesn't have to sound the alarm to tell his people to watch out because these men bid them harm. So now the act of hospitality is complete. Abraham and Sarah spread a feast for these strangers and thereby incorporate them temporarily into their household. The dance of hospitality is complete. These rules of mutual support within the household, mutual support between households within a community, within a town, within a region, mutual support even between natives and immigrants, between the homeborn and stranger. These are rooted in the biblical notion that God has created a world where there is more than enough for all to survive and thrive. And out of that confidence that we have in God's fundamental abundance, in creation's fundamental goodness, we can be bold, we can have the confidence to share and to ensure that all have enough to survive and to thrive. In our next session, we'll look at how this dance of hospitality plays out in the relationship between Israel and God, and ultimately in the relationship between us as the church and the world that God has created.